start the car and get the oil pressure built up in this line before having the turbo start spinning. Welcome back to the Lemon Factor. I'm Chad, and today I'm here with one of our project cars, the 2003 Lexus IS300 Sport Cross. And we have recently started installing the CX Racing Turbo Kit. This is the second episode in which I'll be installing and going through the install process while also upgrading some of the components of the CX Racing Kit. And in today's episode, sponsored by Evil Energy, Evil Energy sells various fittings and hoses. And in today's video, we're going to be using some of the Evil Energy hoses and fittings to create a turbo feed line and a turbo return line. The CX Racing Kit does come with the oil feed line. It's a fixed size, rather long, and really looks like crap. So what I did was I ended up going with some Evil Energy -4AN PTFE braided hose. So you can use either a -3 or a -4 for a feed line. We'll use one of these fittings for one end, and that will screw into the fitting I got from Precision Turbo. So we'll screw this into the feed line of the Precision Turbo. We'll then screw this into the top, and the other end will be connected to our hose. And on the other end of the hose, we'll tap into an oil source. You can either drill the block, if that's what you would like. There's various locations you can drill. You can use a oil filter sandwich plate. Third option would be to go with tapping the oil pressure sensor. To the left of the oil filter is your OEM oil pressure sensor. And we can remove that, put in this T, so screw this in its place. On the end, we'll screw in our oil pressure sensor that we have, and then there is an opening. We will then attach our hose, and we will draw the oil from there. What this is a sandwich plate. You would remove your oil filter and install this, put the gasket in here, install it, twist. This would twist in to where your oil filter was twisting in, and your oil filter would attach to here, giving you multiple options to tap in for a feed or an oil pressure sensor or an oil temperature sensor. Various options here, which is pretty nice. And you can remove each one of these fittings quite easily. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, but the other two I'm going to put a little, you can either put some Teflon tape or PTFE paste, which is what I have. So this is what I'm using. I'm using the Real Tough. It is PTFE paste, thread paste. So instead of Teflon, I'm using just a dab of this paste. Reinstall two of these, leave one open to attach our feed line to. So I'm going to use my Evil Energy. Like I said, I've used these before, used them for fuel system, works beautifully. If you purchase using the link in the description below, you can get 10% off. Nice deal here. Take a look at the link in the description and enter the code for 10% off anything on the Evil Energy website. This is the 1/8 NPT adapter. And this I'll just screw on the top here. I'll put some of that the paste on this, and then we'll start our line from there. So I have my plugs in. I have my NPT to 4AN fitting installed. And I tighten this up in a vise. Before I install this though, I want to do my line and connect my line first And then I'll go under the car and attach this. For the dash 4 AN line, you can easily use tin snips. I like to use a little silicone spray at the end. That really helps get the fitting on a lot easier. You're going to need to remove a little bit of the braided portion, both the inner metal part as well as the nylon outer part, because you're going to need to add a ferrule onto the end here. We don't want that ferrule to butt up against the braided portion. Now take your ferrule or your olive, whichever you want to call it, and it's important to make sure that your hose is a nice, clean, straight cut. I'm pushing it down here just to make sure that it's seated properly. Next, you'll take the other end of your fitting and you'll insert that into the hose. Now to complete the connection, bring up your hose fitting and just screw that in. I did my last bit of tightening using the vise. I do have these magnetic aluminum ends, but these are great to use with AN fittings because they don't mar the fittings. On the other end of the hose, I'm using a 45-degree fitting here, and you can see that I am using the 15mm wrench to tighten this up. You might want to be aware that it is easy to mar these fittings, as you see that I've done here. I'd highly recommend that you purchase from Evil Energy their wrench. So this will come across, it'll be covered up here. Remember, you have your throttle body here, so something like that going to your turbo. We're not going to attach that just yet. One thing we want to make sure that we do before we start the car, after everything's installed, is to start the car and get the oil pressure built up in this line before having the turbo start spinning. I'm also going to prime the turbos, adding a little bit of oil to the turbo. Next up is the installation of our turbo return or turbo drain line. So that's where the oil that's fed into the turbo exits out from the bottom of the turbo and will drain into the oil pan. There's two ways of going about doing this: the right way and the less right way. So the right way to do this, and the recommendation, is to remove the oil pan and drill your hole. That way, when you drill the hole, you don't get all those shards of the engine block in your oil. The less right way is to leave your oil pan installed and drill the hole for your oil return. If you do it that way, just make sure that you drain your oil afterwards and maybe run some oil through the hole and through your oil pan a couple of times to remove any of the shavings. The reason why some people don't remove the oil pan is it's a pain in the ass. So there are several bolts that are on the back side of the oil pan that are extremely difficult to get to, and chances are you're going to have to jack up the engine a little bit to get access to those bolts to remove the pan. It's so cramped down there, I cannot get in that space to drill the hole. So I have this 90-degree fitting. I found this one at Harbor Freight, relatively inexpensive, pretty neat. Rotates the bit. I only have the tape here to indicate where I should stop, but with this attachment, I can easily get down in that space and drill the hole. We drilled the hole to the proper size. We used an NPT tap so I could create some threads on that. And I thought I'd have more threads to work with when I screwed in my fitting. And there's not a lot there. So I also used some JB Weld all around it. You know what? Nobody's gonna see it, but I wanted to make sure that this fitting is not going anywhere. The other thing is, it's easier to drill the hole from underneath the car, or at least it was for me. I can get a better angle. Make sure that it is perpendicular to the hole to create a better hole and a better thread. Thing is, when you're underneath there, you're gonna get all that shavings in your eyes and your hair and your face. So I would highly recommend that you wear some protective eyewear, maybe a hat so it doesn't get all in your hair, but that's up to you. The next step is for us to create our drain line. And once again, we're going to be using the Evil Energy products. The bigger, the better when it comes to oil return line. You wanna make sure that the oil is not backing up in the turbo cartridge. I did opt for a 10 AN, but you could go even to a 12 AN. That will not hurt. Dash 10 AN to NPT. We'll screw this into the block. We'll attach the hose to it. On the other end of the hose, connecting to the turbo, I did buy this fitting directly from Precision. This is specifically their oil return fitting. There's a nice rubber gasket right at the opening. The opening is the same size in geometry as the return that's actually on the turbo. So we're not using a square that's going into a circle, or we're not getting a smaller opening compared to a larger opening and causing lip. So I want to make sure we got a perfect fit for the oil return. We have our turbo manifold and our turbo back in place so that we can make an accurate measurement as far as how much braided hose we need going from the bottom of our turbo, so where the oil is exiting, to our oil drain pan, the fitting that we just added. We want to make sure that it's not too long. Definitely don't want to add any points within the line that oil can slow down. At the same time, we don't want to make it too tight because there's some movement within the engine as you're driving the car, and I don't want to put any stress on either the attachment to the turbo or the attachment to the oil pan. The Precision Turbo has the square oil drain outlet, and because of that, I specifically bought the oil drain flange from Precision Turbo. I knew it would fit, and as you can see here, this has a little gasket right around here that recesses in. It funnels in, so when this is flipped over, this is the bottom, right? If you look closely, this funnels into the hole down here, which is really nice because there's no lip for that oil to start pooling and then eventually leaking out of this fitting. I'm going to put the one end of our drain line, attach it to here, put the turbo back in place, and that way I can see exactly where to cut on the other end where it's connecting into the oil pan. There you have it. We have our oil feed line ready. We have our oil drain line ready, and it's ready to be installed, but it's not. And there's a reason for that. I haven't actually installed it and connected all of the lines yet because we have an issue that we need to address. And that issue is all of the heat that's going to be generated from the turbo manifold and from the turbo itself. So we're going to do some serious heat management in our next video. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, turning on notifications. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. But with that said, I think we're done for today. Thank you very much for joining, and until next time.